So the glue is drying on this arm here. This is the forearm piece for the laser one. I need to add on the knob that's going to be painted red as the laser emitter, essentially. But part of the problem I had with this was the inside was a bit too tight for me. So when I start on the next one, the one with the control panel, I'm going to sand it down so that it's easier to get on. So that's where I'm at right now. As you can see, I've got the top part glued together now. That glue's showing as it usually does, so I'm just going to hit that with the primer. Well, actually first, like I said, I mentioned the sort of laser nodule, so I'm going to use these puzzle pieces that I cut off. I'm going to sand it down so that it's more curved and glue it on there, and that should work. Well, that flew out of my hand, so now I gotta make another one. So I'm working on the left arm now, and I've put the backing on. It's just a regular craft foam. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to do the controls that are on here. I think that I might just try and make a sticker, essentially, to put it on there. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to wait for this to completely dry, and then I'm going to heat form it. And I think that I'm going to put a base coat on both of these separately, so yeah, we'll see how that goes, because I just want this to be gray, and then I can put on the cover and whatever lever system I have. Second, if that made any sense. Yep. So this was slightly too small for the thing put on, when I bent it around, I ended up with a decent gap on the arm, so I cut it slightly larger, and now I'm going to bevel this end here like that. So let's see how it goes. So right now, here's what I have. There's the folding up hand, and so I got to glue that down somewhere in there. But first, before I do that, I'm going to paint it white, just so I know sort of the covered area, so that I don't have any of it peeking out per se. So I have the left side painted. I think that green stripe across the top there looks good. So now I'm going to hot glue on the control panel that sits in there. I don't know, well, it's kind of a control panel, kind of a communicator, and it sits kind of weird, so I believe that's about where I want to sit it, because I want to put a piece of Velcro right there to hold it down. So I think I'll go in just a little bit there. Yep, that'll be it. Yeah, that looks good. Now let's see here. If that's going to fit there, how will that... Alright, that's a perfect fit essentially, so I'll let that hot glue cool off for a minute before I put that on. And I'm just putting one on there because I want it to be easier to pull out. Now that I've got that glued on, I'm going to let it sit for a little bit, let that hot glue cool down, because I don't want to try and open it and then pull it off, essentially. I may go on and put another one in. Actually, no, I don't have room for another one, so that's just going to be the only one in there, essentially. And there they are, the two completed forearms of Buzz Lightyear. So far, I think they turned out well. I guess all that's left to do of this is to get some gloves and modify them to look like Buzz's hands. So far I'm really pleased with it. A few things that I learned in the process of making these is, one, since that first panel that I made for this was too small, I would heat form it first and then cut out the panel, essentially. But if that doesn't work, I don't know, I didn't try that. I would try and, eyeball cutting a different one. Even though I have a gap here, it still covers that panel that I put in well. Yeah, so far I think it looks good. Now let me show you all that I've got. Well, here's what I have of my Buzz Lightyear costume so far. As you'll notice, the armbands seem to be a little bit low, but that's pretty much about as high as I can get them without restricting movement. I have a black shirt that goes underneath this. Just turn around for you. So the next part of the plan is to Velcro on these parts of the black undershirt, the belt, the thighs, the shins, the boots, and the Snoopy cap. But yeah, so far I'm pleased with it. I'm very pleased that I could get the control panel put in there. I don't believe I've seen a Buzz Lightyear cosplay that could open up their wrist communicator, essentially. I thought about trying to make the laser light up, but I have no idea how to do any soldering or light work or anything like that, so it's just going to be a solid piece. Essentially the same thing for the wings. So I'm pleased with it.